stutter. I had these issues with reading and writing, and I'm bad. I'm insecure. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of to face who you are. That's the only way you're going to get over all those things. You have to get someone else. Not that you have two different personalities. It's you. It's half the mind strength. And that visualization of almost like the Superman came out, like I'm coming out. Hear about being judged. Who knows I'm weak? Who knows I'm afraid? He says, whatever you think about me, think you whatever I'm you. In the dark room, face yourself. You realize you want to be better. Realize you don't want to be this weak, insecure person in this world. There's all these problems that we all have. We all have. Social media is a great platform to tell you who we want to be, not who we are. Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. What am I going to do today? Change what I see in this mirror. Oh, nothing's going to change. Face it every day. Face it every single day of your life. When you say, okay, like if you're fat, wait, patience. Patience in this matter. Second, because I'm bad. Have to live with it. So, that's why social media is so, all this so-called competition that we have made up in our mind. The things that black person is. This is a race that you run to keep people along. Really sit back and keep on. And you're looking at it, you started it. And you tell yourself, I'm gonna feel out to this fool. That shit. Fucking double cancer. A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation from depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing shit with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in a grip of life. You know, living in a grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. Put a challenge in front of yourself, you tap it. That's where you find inspiration. The more you walk away from accountability, we can become. One thing about life is that people in life, they're the ultimate puppet masters. They exploit your weakness, and they love to walk you around life and fill the space in your head. One of the biggest ways to cut those strings and walk on your own two fucking feet to your own destination in life is to build self-respect, self-esteem, self-discipline, all those things. Stay hard is not just about going to the fucking gym. It's about going that extra step for the can. That's what goes something to yourself.
100 down, 5 minutes.
People can see. They tell a story. But a lot of that story in their brains. Fucked up lives. Bad childhoods. Bad adulthood. Where the fuck you going? Those scars from your brain you'll talk about. How? Scarring is proof that our past is real. But the one thing we do is we got to control our lives. And we get off the lawn. Because trying to get back on the lawn, that have a scar to define the rest of your fucking life. Sometimes you gotta buy pay, but hey, stay hard. It's so easy to be great nowadays. People are thinking this is solid generation, so they need any toughness. Any fraction of self-discipline. The ability to do it. Not want to do it, but still do it. It's that mentality. Not gangster. That's why, man. But if you can get through doing things that you got to do, science greatness. Not even civilized, about having a savage. The worst thing that ever happens to any human being is they become civilized. If that's total accountability, but I'm motherfucker looking at me, judging me right now, man. I'm one of the baddest person that ever lived. That's a good way, man. That's a way that you could, I think, set the example, and people are scared of that conversation with their wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend. Yeah, but why are you scared? Why are you scared to tell a motherfucker, your wife, your husband, who you are? Who you are, exactly who you are. And that was the problem I had. That's the problem that a lot of us have in life. No one knows who you really are. No one knew who I really was. I went to a school where there were a lot of black kids. A lot of black kids being special. I never talked about special ops with black kids. Fine. I was wondering when I'm not going to fit in. That's not what they do. A lot of black kids don't do that kind of shit. So, whenever I've done it, people don't really knew the real me growing up. Because I never wanted anybody to know the real me. I was always afraid of what you might say or how you're going to feel or whatever. You got feelings. You have a life that you have to live. So it's important that whatever's on your mind, you let that person know before you're giving them the option to be with you or not. This is who I am. If you don't like it, that's good, man. I got it. But this is David Goggins. So there's that honest conversation is very important, man. So everybody knows where they stand. That person may not be for you. That's all good. People love to lie about who they're not. They love to lie about who they're not, dude. And that's, for me, the reason why I'm so vulnerable and I'm so real and honest. Find somebody to come out and tell me I'm lying about my life. And for me to come where I came from and have the resume I have now, feel the confidence you get. No, I don't care. You're gonna judge me. What have you done? So me being so honest and so upfront and so truthful, that came with me finally figuring out who I was, but also conquering David Goggins, the demons of David Goggins. Therefore now, you're just an open book. You look at somebody looking right in the eye, tell me exactly who you are. Walk away. You're broke. I know exactly what this journey took to get. And it gives you a fire and a passion that people will call you. If you're a lesbian, gay, or bisexual, call you the fuck you want. If you put yourself in the fire and you come out every day like this, brush it off, not scared to go back in there again, your truth is real. You come out every day, man, with a way of talking to people that people don't have. Because there's no truth behind it. And the truth is the starting point. You sit there, ugly man, and say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. You probably started your life. Maybe 40 years old. Maybe 40 years old. 5, 6 kids, wife, and say, you look in that mirror. And you say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Well, basically, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I can't do this, I'm all these insecurities. Your life finally started. And once you start that life, the truth comes out big time. You know what I get? So that's the problem. Most people just don't want to have that conversation. So they can go on stage, many people say, I'm on this. And again, see everybody. So it's a power. It's the unseen word. What she just says, true statement. So for how it is the people. They don't believe me. These are team work. Like, I'm not running to talking in the gym, long sessions by myself. That's real. How many people extract dopamine? They're good dopamine never want. Man, I've trained 99% of my life alone. No one had me on the back. I did all the work alone. And I'm so proud of myself. I know what I did. So whenever times get bad, we're doing, who's you carry the books and look? That's real. I hate that people know me for that guy, because that myself. I can take myself to such a level of real passion and purpose. And like, the feeling I get is something I can't explain. I don't get anything. That's why people come to me to motivate them. No one can motivate me. I have a resume full of fucking motivation. Now, whenever I'm down, I'm all like, well, you know the truth. You know the truth. You know the darkness of the dungeons, the deeps that fly. You know, and then from there, it's like, okay, you were there. You know this. There was no one there to pick up the rucksack, to pick up the boat, to pick up the log, to go in there. It was you. It was you. There was no capital. 300 and then 275 and 250 and 220. No, that was you. So those things that come out of me, that extract from me in the darkness, people are looking for that pound back. Where is it? Oh, I don't need it. Because what I've done is in the unseen work, I built
200
Frankenstein. So whenever shit gets nasty, David Goggins goes, can't nobody anyway, mother. So see, I'm talking myself now. That's me. That shit fires me. That shit makes me fucking nuts. You had nobody anyway, mother. Look around you. There is no contain. It was you. There was no weight loss program. Mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better. Trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. You did that. So as times get hard for me, the truth comes out. And my truth is powerful. It's real. It's tangible. I feel it. It comes out of my brain as I speak about it. I'm reliving every single dark moment of my life to be here. So that is what people don't get. That is what motivates them. God is the unseen. Everybody needs that path back. They need that training partner. They need that accountability coach. Oh yeah, they need to do that. And it's what we've trained ourselves to believe that we need. It's almost like there's this pillow on the shelf. I'm speaking in analogy, right? And we take it and we get jazzed up. Like, yeah. But there's this other medicine cabinet behind there. See us. You're saying the real medicine cabinet is yes. When you continue to overcome. It has so many obstacles to overcome. So it's actually a benefit to me, but the benefit is not like a benefit like that. You have to have the courage and the patience to overcome before you know it, man. You have the whole medicine cabinet, but there's no medicine in there. There's no pre-workout. I don't take none of that shit. All I gotta do is flip my brain, put my finger in there and say, okay, that's a good one. That's all I gotta do, man. I got the Rolodex, I'm just like going yourself Goggins and what you want. Let's do that today. There's nothing I need. And this is the thing that people don't get about David Goggins. I can't teach it in a 1 minute. We all have this ability to have our own medicine cabinet. But unless you go in there and put the medicine in there, it's always going to be fucking empty. And you're always going to need the pre-workout. You're always going to need to, I don't drink coffee. I don't do none of that. I don't need to, I can run for 70 hours and a half before. No caffeine. I got all this wonderful shit that I overcame on my own, by myself, in the darkness. That man, when it's cold, hot. When it's hot, like, when I can feed myself all the time. That's why people say, man, why aren't you miss anything? I can't explain it to you, man. You can't explain it to me. You'll never understand. That's why I don't do all these podcasts, dude. I love you, man. That's why my first book, you did a blur. That's why I'm here. I love what you're doing for people, man, but I can't explain this. I can't explain this because people don't want to do this. They don't want to do this, man, but I don't know. I get jazzed up even talking about it, man, because so many people think my life is so, oh God, his life is horrible. Don't follow him. He's crazy. Really? It's crazy how a kid that wasn't real smart I was forced to go only internal. External had to go away. The external world had to go away. They let me so deep inside myself. It was me in this brain and figuring out how this thing works. And it's so many people are doing exactly that. The supplements, the this, the that. Now, I agree, it helps. But once you figure out your brain, you become unstoppable to almost anything. You can't beat death, you can't whatever. Your brain is amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send it right to the right circuit, dude, you're a beast. A beast. But once again, you just can't read about it. You can't sit back and be a theorist. You have to be a practitioner. And in that practice is where that becomes proof. What I'm saying is like, God, David Goggins, he's blowing my mind. What is this? He's not crazy. There's so many people. A lot of people have listened to me the right way, and they come back and they're like, I'm totally on board. It happened. It happened. I'm like, keep going, man, but keep doing it. But that is it, man. There's no sun. There's no glory. There's no carrot. There's no victory. But there is all of it in one. I just can't explain it with other people, man. But what you get at the other end is something that you're always found. You never lost it. Doesn't mean the journey's easy. Doesn't get any easier, but you're always found. The thing about being misunderstood is very frustrating. More than I can even imagine. I can't even express how frustrating it is. When that cussing and everything comes from a place of real. I can't explain what I do without it. The passion comes out of me, it's almost like speaking in tongues. Because when you put that much work in, people go, oh yeah, you're doing this now, this football thing. No. Everything is working. Everything. And people don't believe it. So when I speak, the mother and shit, that is what it took from me. But it takes the anger, the passion, the jaw dropping, just it takes that because I'm not that. This is how I look at it, man. What built this guy? And let's imagine being the coolest water you can possibly take. I always go back to hell. I hate it. You're sitting there locked up arms and you're in the water all the time. And they're bringing you in and out of the water. In and out of the water. When you have this dialogue in your head, and these people are judging you off of picking 1 minute video, and you're constantly your whole life, figure it out, put it for it, I got it, I just got it. This is gonna suck. Every day is gonna suck. And live like that. To be better. And I put it this way, I'm in the water's going over my head, the Pacific Ocean, it's freezing. February, coach, 53 helpings. For you to constantly win, with this voice over here, the real you, that's saying, get out of here. Go. You're nobody. You've always been nobody. It is true. People don't hear that. That's a true voice. That's a real reality of David Goggins at 24 years old. It's not a false reality. And then you had to create another feature that is saying you're better than that other. And you're in the freezing cold water that both voices don't want to. But you win. It goes from the water to the studying, to the running, to losing weight, to how you eat, to how you function as a man. Every day of your life, you're winning these battles. And then I have normal people. They have one voice. Never created a second voice. The winning voice is the second voice. They have one voice. And that's just from a piece of shit. That's all they hear. And then they judge people like me who are out here trying to be better. It's something that I can never really, it's a frustrating thing for me. Because I know the majority of people. I know what goes on in break. I studied the Bible almost more than you. Because I'm a practitioner. So for you to be a piece of shit and come out of that, you don't just get out of it. You spend decades studying your mind and the human mind on how it functions in good environments, bad environments, stressful environments, patient environment. You studied all because you had to put all this together to create the mind to become successful. So I had to let God bless me with this brain. I had to create a mind. And so in doing so, I figured out every piece of human being in the world because that's what I was going off of for myself. So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering for oneself. So I know why I'm misunderstood. I'm misunderstood by people who have plenty of time on their hands to misunderstand me because they are exactly where I once was. Was the low-life, lazy piece of shit. There's the harsh reality of people who troll you, who go after you. They have nothing better to do with their lives. It's not some after school special. It's the truth. I once was that way. I know where it all comes from. That's why it's frustrating now, because I'm not so frustrated with the fact that I'm being trolled. I'm frustrated by the fact that you have the courage to try to be somebody better than what you're not. And that's the frustrating part. This is a very, very, very perishable skill, this willpower that you have, because I do have a willpower that I have never seen in anybody in my life. It is a haunting force that just keeps me going. And I know that that is my strength. If you have that, so that's worth every dime I've ever made in my life. It's the fact that I can look a man in the eye finally and have a real conversation without going like this. Because I'm lying or I'm a piece of shit. Where I know, you know how a person, and so many people do this shit. They're talking to you on who they want to be. They're lying to you. And they walk away after this so many times. Why the hell can I just tell him the truth? You know how good it feels for me now to look at you in your eye and every man I see. Because women won't get this. Women will not get this. Man to man, that man shit. You look another man in the eye and you know that everything you're saying is real. And it comes from a real working place. Something that you earned. It's the best feeling in the world.
You can say that actually happened. Like I know with certainty what I'm saying
Actually happened. Who I am and who I say I am. No more lies. No more spirit and truth. No more. And that is worth every dime I've ever made in my life. And I swear to God that I've ever made in my life. Building who I built. So I cap success because I know that if I ever go 12 months out of the year and don't put several every day, I'm going at it. But several months out of the year, I go back to ground zero. Which means I'm just full. David Goggins, no guidance. No carrot, no spoken logs, bullshit. It's just pick up that Pulaski and dig. Hey, get down the pump, walk down a mile, put it in the fucking water, mosquitoes beating. You're just David Goggins. You know about it. Because that's what my belief is. That's where my willpower comes from. And that's where it stays. So when I talk to you now, and then I told me, you don't talk this kind of passion because it ain't there. It ain't there.
can't be on these podcasts. I can't talk to anybody without being real. I'll go away. I'll just go away. Because I can't give you what I want to do. I didn't teach myself victory first thing. I taught myself failure. I taught myself how to fail.
Right, that's true.
That's so depressing, isn't it? You're 300 pounds, you can't read and write, you're fine. You know how many times you're going to fail on that process? So if you don't know how to fail, there is no victory. I never talked about winning. Because I knew the path to winning was to be years of failing first. So I taught myself how to fail. I'm going to teach you how to fail. But if you're going out for insurmountable odds that make absolutely no sense, a black kid that can't swim, here's if I'm going to be Navy SEAL. Okay? You better teach yourself how to fail first. Because if you sit in failure for too long, you will never come out of it. So the first part of my success was learning how to fail properly. And then eventually, I started getting a few victories. And that's what people don't get. When you buried yourself in such a deep funnel, you better think about failures you're going to have first. That's why other voice comes up. It tells you got to do something. It also tells you, boy, I'm not going to lie to you guys. You're in for an incline, bro. You're going to get your ass handed to you and make fun of outside noise to inside noise. Old voices. In times you go yourself, you are in for hell, bro. I am. I'm understand. Found what I could do. Just talking for $5. So, long story short, I had a bad surgery. Surgery fucked up the guy who hated my life in 90s. And if you go on Instagram, you'll see a picture of me. This was a memory foam. I can put my whole hand in there, and there's fingerprints in my hand. It's just literally like this thick in my skin. There's fingerprints. That's a shin bone. What I did was I said, okay, you got 24 pounds to feel like a little sorry face. And all this other stuff. So that 24 hours went by, 24 hours and 1 second was back to the and what I did was I took 3 months singing, will this lady get any fucking better? I said 3 months, I had a whole plan laid out. Well, I can tell you, laid out. 3 months, we're going to find the best doctor in the world. And it gets some crazy, turns really beautiful. He literally went in, put sawed in my tibia, broke my leg, reset my entire leg and put a plate in there, and it takes 18 months to even get back to doing anything. It takes, what was it, 8 months to start walking again? 8 months to start walking again. I'm at my 10th brother, and I'm jumping out of planes at 9 months. And ran 100 miles in 8 months. It is how you look at shit. Most people, they always ask this question, what are you going to do, man? You can't run anymore. I want to be the best diagnosis of a player. Let's say I tell you I want to be a doctor. And I go to bed at night. When I wake up, you're sitting there with my college list. Because you're in call Harvard. And I'm enrolled in school. That's what my thoughts are. I want to know that time's getting over and I'm out there suffering. Give me a second. Just put it there and
Play this up.
I don't take a little break. Hey, I got $10 million. Want some coffee? I don't know what you help me. And when I feel soft, you help me. Say, don't feel sorry for me. I want my so full of motherfucker. When I'm hungry, when I'm tired, stay up. And I say that I can't do something, find a way. Never get a good way out. Like most people nowadays, I hear all kinds of families. They come home, that doctor story is real. I want to be a doctor, but they fucked something in that or such. Parents send those qualities that they keep you in the fight, not take you out. Take yourself in those bad moments. Listen to yourself. Listen how deep and prophetic it sounds. That will not make you a winner or succeed in anything. You have to fight those urges to just say, I'm good today. If you take the court yourself and you play that for one of your friends, will that get them off the couch? Or will that make them want to fuck sell their lawn? So everything you say to yourself has to be something that energizes you to the core of your soul. So whenever that weak voice comes, you gotta smack it real quick, as fast as you can, because that weak voice is taking the path of least resistance. None of us want to work that hard, even me. So just remember that, man. You've got to sit down, like I had to do, around your age, and think about what do you want to be? What do you want to do? How does that look like? How do you have discipline when you don't know what to watch? That makes sense? You even have no fucking discipline. Like, I know what I want to do, so what you do. Try to sweat up and start getting after it. No. You gotta have shit in order. Plans, goals, destinies, journeys. And then, all that every question you ask will fall right into place. Once you figure out first at 26, so what are you here? Some people can't be unbalanced. They can't just throw everything to the minute, go out. And your mom's can't, moms, they do much. That said, doing balance, yeah, that's a lot of sense. So if you want that balance, you have to self. Everybody else gets that. Kids won't.
That 7:50, we got 45 minutes.
Once they're back to the kids, they go to sleep. Guess who's up? What's the max amount of time with that husband? That husband goes to work with him. Guess who's maximizing all that time? Every free time you have will be family and what you want to become. There were several nights. David Goggins said a lot of sleepless nights. But if that's what you want to do, it's a lot of time to do it. You got to maximize that shit. And if you don't, if you did not want it bad enough, the second you start living the self-confidence. So you got to get that savvy as long as you can. So you got to go on that witch hunt to find whatever it is that makes you tick. And whenever that tick goes away, you gotta find another thing that makes you tick. And you gotta keep that up for as long as you can. Because it will be active. That's how it is. But you gotta keep that. I guarantee you, if you put more thought in the paper, you'll find something that you haven't done. That if you really think about it, you want to do. And that will re-energize your inner beast. He said, well, what do you know? He said, no, I'm not going to let you in. He put enough doubt in my mind and said, man, I can't do more. So I was broken bad. And I know this thing you recover from. The funny thing about this, I'll tell a story very often. I signed up for, I'm getting to that answer, it's right now. I'm in employment, and me and my wife went on to Las Vegas Marathon, down the strip of Las Vegas. And that incident happened. So I ran 100 miles before I ran a marathon. 2 weeks later, roughly December 5th, was this marathon that we all signed up for. I couldn't walk. I could not walk. I was moving. So 10 days or 2 weeks after this 100-mile in one race I did, this marathon, December 5th, Las Vegas. So that was the first one. I can't run. Maybe I could walk with my mom. So I tried to go out to this little around a grassy area in San Diego. I tried to run. Legs were broken. I said, I can't do shit. So I said, no, maybe I'll watch you guys marathon and I'll cheer you guys on, whatever. So I said, I'll try to walk with my mom. This perfect happened. That going on. 2005, 14 days after, I booked myself off. And I called the Boston Marathon, ran 308. And it was really about, I know people are here saying, well, even when I tell you the story, I want to drop so many names on Google it, looking up little people.
Jeez, shit.
That's
how you should go.
So, you know, nice situation, lifestyle. How are you going to react? How are you going to react to that? All that train goes out the fucking door when you're in the cold water and you're fucking miserable, and it's the first hour of 130 hours of hell week, and that first wave goes over your head, and you're the coldest spring in your life, and your mind goes from hour 1 to hour 130. All that fucked up talking shit, dude. You ain't think about me, my kid the fuck out of here. But if you live this shit on a daily basis and you're gonna calm your mind down, the self-talk will help, all that stuff will help. But usually we react. We have pain, we have suffering, we react. And react about get the out of here. We gotta go. It's those people who are able to control that fucking feeling of fucking flight. They say, no, there's a way through this. It's not gonna be here forever. I'm not cold right now. I went through 3 of them. I'm not cold now. I'm in a nice warm studio with you. You gotta think about that shit. This shit's gonna end. It's gonna end, but we don't know that. We don't think that. At that time, this is gonna last forever. And then you get to sit back on Friday, everybody walking across the, back on the grinder, all the 16, 17, 18 guys that graduated LE. You get a chance to watch these guys victorious. And then you get a chance to think about that. You take that hot, warm shower, first thing comes here, my brother, did I quit? So what keeps me going? I've quit several things. I know what's on the back end of when it's a lot of time of thinking my life. Did I do that? I have lived in hell. And it's open hell. That's the only time you can figure out how to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about how to do shit. Some guy who sat up in a nice warm office and read some book with a nice cup of coffee in the hand. No. I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he talked about quitting and leaving it, and his wife and his kids, and why am I here? Because it's worth it, all this crazy shit. And he still said, he found out a way to get to it. So, basically, that's the bottom line of it all. You all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6 abs and all sorts of shit so powerful. Did you may get some results from it, but not permanent. The permanent result comes from you. I say it all the time. You have to suffer. You have to make that attempt on your brain so when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it. You may forget it for a second, but you can go back in the cookie jar and call it. It's something that we've all endured. I call it the cookie jar. We often forget how hard we are, but you gotta reflect back. Reflect, I've been through this, I've been through that. And then remind yourself of a bad motherfucker. And then you can get through this, but if you don't believe it, if you're endurance, you just blow the smoke, man. And you're not gonna get anything. What the mind does under stress. And how we can't, he said how we can't do something. And I did it. I did what he said we couldn't do. Like, what was he saying we couldn't do? It was something about if you're born a certain way, it's something like if you're born a certain way, you can't become this way. And it was totally saying that who I am now, like I had to be born with some, not genetic power or some gift from God, but I had to have some kind of special gift. I had to have some kind of special gift. I forget what set me off. But it was like you had to be, to be somewhere, you had to be born. What was the concept? And I know what I was born with. And I know the battle that I had in my mind. So when he said it, I just sat there and looked at my face. Somebody in the crowd asked me a question. Yeah, I totally contradicted everything he said. I was like, for a fact, that you can be this fucked up dude. I mean, really fucked up dude. With the right mindset. It sounds so easy with the right mindset. You have to go into the dark chambers that we often shut off. Then you gotta open it up. You gotta open it, fight that demon. Get in there, talk to that motherfucker, say what's up. And we all like to take this 4-lane highway. An easy highway. It has signs, it has restaurants. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. And all I did was pick up that fucking shovel. And that shovel made a little back. And you may have big boulders They may be getting 200 miles on the road faster than you, but going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult. When it comes out the other end of that month, it's glorious shit. And you can't even explain to people. And we're afraid. Bottom line is most of us, even the people who have all these theories and shit, it's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. I wasn't made to do that. And yeah, some of us can't be LeBron fucking James. But I'll tell you right now, man, we can do a lot of shit when it comes to this pure guts and willpower and getting through shit. We have a lot more than a lot more than I think we have. It takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's. And then you have all the energy you need. So you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody, you broke that up. He's like, oh God, man, I want to go back next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. I can fight all day long. That's what taking someone's is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance where you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give and give more. I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response, and you got to move real quick, and you know, I started learning a lot how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment where everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all pants and the mentality's down and everything. I started like, wow, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery from tons of drive and motivation to hit further. Because you get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, God is going. Then everybody says, roger that. That became my go-to. So yeah, I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people involved. But you have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where you're at right now. Great pleasure, man. Most brings me, it has to bring a passion out of you. It has to bring something very, very weird out of you, man. Like, you know, people don't really understand what that is. When you're in the worst environment possible, the worst situation possible, and everybody's looking like, God, I hope this is. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, it's gotta go down the street. Almost impossible. And that's what I thought. But see, you see the person now. I mean, I was 175 pounds last year. So I'm a skinny guy in high school. So I made myself big. I'm a small boned person. So it wasn't, trust me, it was hard. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And so I was trying to study for this ASVAB test again. I got to take it again, go to the Navy. And I'm out here trying to lose weight. And I'm, working for this company, spread in November in Indiana. Just lay in the pond. I was like, I'm going to bus, it's going to get hard. So I lay in the pond, get out of the pond, and go for a run. Just all wet, cold, like the daggone shacks up, ice and shit. I just got up there running and said, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you were there, just didn't want to, like, what's wrong with you? So she started seeing the transformation, like, this guy,
Seeing Smokey today.
become somebody next to you, man. My God, you actually lost that much weight that fast. We like to take these very quick fixes in life. We want the 6-minute abs approach to life. Yeah. No, man, there's no permanent in that. Yeah. There's no permanent in that, man. There's no scarring. There must be scarring. I gotta be honest, I gotta be right, I gotta get better. And that's when you know that when you're trying to do your best, your life sucks. If people don't get that. When you're trying to have the best character, you're trying not to fucking lie, you're trying not to put people down, you're trying to live, you're trying to set the standard. When you're trying to be the standard, and that standard is, there's so much going wrong and going off in this world, that if people can focus on themselves being better versus throwing hate, and if all this shit that happens out there, people talking shit, I don't bitch them up brains. I'm trying to hurt you, man. But I'm trying to be the standard. And sometimes life is just not fun if you're like, can't do that, can't say that, gotta watch out for that. Yeah, I gotta wake up today. I gotta grind, because there may be a motherfucker that sees me in the crowd that says, go home and get better today. People call me crazy a lot. Man, you're so crazy, but what you do? I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, man, I'm not crazy. I'm just not you, man. It's not who you are, who you want to be. I have a responsibility, man. I gotta take that seriously. Just discipline, man. Discipline's the only thing that changes your DNA, man. So, only thing, man, you can be so fucked up. And I realized that. And I was like, man, only thing that changed my DNA is discipline. It doesn't take away pain. It doesn't take away suffering. You just study it. You know it. You know how it feels.
Yeah.
You know when to breathe, when not to breathe. You know all these different things. You've been there. You visited. You lived there for a long period of time. And that's why I like this book so much. Is because Can't Hurt Me was like a bachelor's degree. It was like the surface level of David Goggins and some things that can help you out. This to me is a master's degree. This book right here takes you to another level of the mind and how you think. That's why I say this ain't no self-help book. This is what the fuck are you doing with your life book. Let me teach you the real life, how it really is. The reason why you're a loser, the reason why you're not keep making it, and the reason why you're trying to go through all these, I go to all these conventions, speak all the time. I look at these people sign up every year, go to convention, thinking they're gonna learn something different. No, you're lazy, you know exactly what to do, because even me, in my state of, I can't read and write, I know exactly what to do. It just sucks to do it. It sucks to do it. It sucks to wake up every morning of your life and say, God, I'm not smart. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta study the same shit. I get one of the highest scores in the nation. And do it again. It's not just there. It's not just there permanent. So yeah, it's Austin. It's all Disney. The only carrot you have is like, maybe, whenever I take these tests that are real hard, in the back of my brain is like, good chance you're not gonna make it, Goggins. This ain't you, bro. This ain't you. You work for one, Goggins. This ain't you, the real you, bro. You study all your lunch, and the second that lunch, computer comes on with 150 questions. This ain't you, man. Somehow, comes back, passed again. But that little me back here every time is saying, that ain't you, bro. That ain't you. And I have to outwork that voice. When I'm taking that test and I get to a question, I don't know the answer. I'm like, man, and then say, I told you, man. That ain't you. You're 300 pounds, man. You sit at home, you figure out how to do your hair. That's what you do. How to come to school with the reverse baldness when you're 16. That's you. So, there is no get out of jail free card. This is why I say stay home. Because when you are given the gifts, the only thing you can do in life is stay home. And I know people cannot stand me. They can't stand this talk. This is what you can do. There's no magic pill or magic book. All you can do is outwork the man that God created, or woman, in you. And what that looks like is unfun. That's why I said, do not do it happy video. Because people will not see the truth. They will see what they want to see. Is I don't live like that. Good. And you will live exactly the way you live now. Questioning who you are. Wondering what is possible. Wondering what you are capable of doing. That's how that looks. We obtain too cheap. We esteem too lightly. Easy success is much pleasant. If they're the only successes you achieve, you'll come to expect quick, effortless results. Then when life hits you hard with a difficult challenge, you'll lack the mental toughness to overcome it. Moreover, you'll never appreciate the easy successes as much as the ones that require blood, sweat, and tears. Does it mean that you should reject easy successes and seek the most difficult ways to accomplish your goals? Of course not. However, you should make sure that you don't deliberately avoid hardships. Resist the temptation to set your aims low. Scoring exclusively easy wins might feel good, but you're limiting your potential that way. Over the long term, make sure that you always have at least one big, ambitious, and demanding goal in life, as that's where the power of self-discipline shows, where most personal growth happens, which delivers the greatest feeling of having accomplished what you're worth to. Receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance, and be ready to let it go. Never take self-discipline for granted or assume that if you can control your urges, you're now invincible. Humility plays an important role in helping you maintain self-control. And every person will be more likely to unnecessarily test their willpower, which will eventually lead to their downfall. This happens because of the restraint bias, the tendency for people to overestimate how capable they are of controlling impulsive behaviors. Research shows that people who had an inflated belief in their self-control overexposed themselves to temptations, such as recovering smokers, putting themselves in situations tempting them to smoke, which increased the risk of a relapse. Assume that your self-discipline is like prosperity. It's possible that it will stay with you for a long time, but it's also possible that it will disappear. Consequently, you'll work harder to keep it in your life. If it does go away, when you make some mistakes, you'll accept it with more tranquility and be more likely to regain it quickly. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this one. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Self-discipline is a lot like dealing with fear. When you face temptations, look them straight in the eye and send them packing. The next time they appear in your life, you'll be able to say to yourself, I managed to overcome them once. I can handle them this time as well. The more times you successfully overcome the temptations, the easier it will be to handle them again. Regular practice will make you less susceptible to temptations and even more likely to ignore them. Just like looking fear in the face will make you more likely to act in spite of it. Granted, it's not that with enough experience you can become unconditionally self-disciplined, just like you won't one day stop being afraid of anything. Just remember that each situation that tests your resolve is another experience from which you can draw inspiration to overcome future challenging circumstances when they occur. Never
makes you just recover. Oh, yeah, right?
Never, and it always moves back to kind of the hero mentality. Never pick the easy ever in your life. That is the one rule that is it is due. If you want something like 6 million abs, all these different things that get so fast, you may achieve what you want, but you want the permanent fix. The permanent fix comes hard. Permanent results. The easy road gives you the quick fix. You will go back to where you started on the end. That hard route is so permanent that it ends up carrying you everywhere. Everywhere.
You keep the six pack forever.
You keep it. There's no report that goes into it. Knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly, or it vanishes. Just like knowledge, you can't take self-discipline for granted. Unfortunately, being a self-disciplined person isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. Once you have learned how to live that way, you can still lose it if you don't consistently strengthen it by setting new challenges and rejecting instant gratification in favor of bigger future rewards. Never assume that you're disciplined enough.
900?
There's always a new area in which you can improve your self-control and further expand your comfort zone. For example, regular exercise poses no challenge for my self-discipline. In order to strengthen it, I need to set bigger and bigger exercise-related challenges for myself. Instead of focusing on fitness, I can also find a new area in which my discipline is lacking, such as developing more patience with dealing with other people, and focus on improving it until it's no longer a test for my resolve. Such consistent practice ensures that you're at least maintaining your level of self-control, and ideally always getting better at it. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Never pity yourself. Be a hard master to yourself. And be lenient to everybody else. The only standards that should concern you are your own standards. If you act in accordance with the standards of the majority of people, you'll be overweight, unfit, unhealthy, lazy, hating your job, not having enough time for your family, and in debt. I sometimes get flack for my goals. You're already slim. Why do you still watch your diet? Why do you save so much money? You should live it up. Can't you live like a normal person instead of waking up at 5 a.m. and going to sleep as early as 8 p.m.? According to my standards, the growth should never end. I always hold myself responsible for a higher standard, and this allows me to maintain success, friendly habits in my life, and achieve even more success. If you allow yourself to have low standards, how are you supposed to ever achieve excellence? Exhibiting self-control is one of the most powerful demonstrations of having high standards. How fleeting emotions and urges control your life, as most people do, is a surefire path to mediocrity. The important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part. The important thing in life is not triumph, but the struggle. The essential thing is not to have conquered, but to have fought well.
9:25.
Nobody will ever give you any grades for your level of self-discipline. There's no finish line, and there's no podium for the winners. The only purpose of building self-discipline is to conquer yourself. Your own urges, your own weaknesses, and your own self-sabotaging behaviors. It's easy to forget this fact and assume that when you reach your goals, you're done. In fact, the moment you make your dreams come true is the most important moment. It's important, no doubt, but without the process leading to it in itself, it means little. The most important moments are the moments of struggle, when you're striving to fight, even when you can barely stand and the whole world is spinning around you. It's this very act that proves your mettle and showers you with life. The encompassing facts, not the act of winning in itself. Whenever you find yourself frustrated that you're still a long way from the finish line, remember that it's right now, at this very moment, that you're collecting the biggest rewards. It's the struggle in itself that improves you and makes you a more successful person. Anybody, not just maybe anybody that can accomplish anything that's you. The only separator is that they really want to be there. There's some people that get inspired, and that inspiration moves them to try to do something. But that inspiration is very high right now in this nice environment. We're in a nice environment. The ocean's out there. I'm talking to you. If I'm going to go to the refrigerator and get something to drink, eat, I can. I watch a movie about some badasses, you're inspired. But the second you're not in this environment, and you're actually doing what inspired you, that sun factor is not real. You can't just get off your couch and get a shake or get a box of donuts or something on TV. You're now there. Only those people have been there a million times in their minds and have lived in that water and have suffered a million times and realized my legs may break, my knee may break, my bones will hurt. I will be the coldest I've been in my life. I will be miserable. And accept that. Then what happens is when you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind, I call it 1 second decision. When you get in a horrible situation in life, your mind immediately says, get out of here. Everybody does, even if you want to be there. But it starts to have all these different questions in your mind that 1 second. It's okay, why are we here? I need to do this, why this, why that? And then you start to say to yourself, if you don't want to be there that bad, I'm good for that. Like, this is stupid. This is going to get these guys injured for, like they're going to pay for this for the rest of their lives. I'm not going to break my body up for this. Your mind starts to say, yeah, this is stupid. But if you are already knowing that this is going to happen, you have all the answers to these questions that your mind starts to give you when you're in suffer. To succeed, you must fail. In failure and in suffering, All the answers are in there. All the answers to all the test questions. The test is your life. The answers are in there. You don't have to live in suffering, pain, and failure all the time. You have to learn. Like people hate working out. You're only going to visit working out maybe an hour a day, 23 other hours a day. You're not in it. But how you become in shape is you must visit suffering. Visit working out 1 hour a day. Visit suffering 1 hour a day. Visit your past failures 1 hour a day. The relationship with it is the answers are in there. They are in there within the suffering. Go in there. I call it the live autopsy. Live autopsy, how you find out. They crack you open after you're dead. How you can live is do it while you're alive. Go back in your brain, crack it open while you're alive. Don't wait until you're freaking dead to figure out why you died. Do it while you are living. Go in there, go into the suffering, go into the pain of your life and say, why does this suck for me so bad? Why am I afraid of all this stuff? Why have I shut down the whole? I guarantee I'll tell you why you shut down the whole world. It's in these nooks of the suffering within your brain. And the scarring are all the answers to why you were on the couch feeling sorry for yourself. They lie within the scars. Visit them for at least an hour a day. Study them. And then you'll find out more about yourself. You will then grow. So don't look at it as every day of suffering. Go into it an hour a day. Learn from yourself. Learn from life. Learn from me. Learn from your failures. Learn from your insecurities. Learn from your self-doubt. Don't just say, I'm afraid to